Well, you already know what it is. It's another episode of eThought Conversations where we talk to people who are educational, who are entertaining, who are engaging, who are difference makers in this world. And as always, I got another difference maker today. And let me just introduce you to it. Today's guest, she's a beauty entrepreneur. She's an educator. She's a woman whose story reminds us that beauty is more than just appearance. It's transformation. She's the founder of FaceFX Cosmetics, but her journey just not only includes her beauty business, it includes, as we're going to get into, profound loss, her deep faith, and her commitment to helping others find grace in grief. I want you to welcome to eThought Conversations, my friend Phoebe Murphy. Welcome to eThought Conversations.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Let's talk about your beauty journey. What's it like growing up in a salon where your mother was a cosmetologist for more than 50 years? She's not that old.
Yes. No. She doesn't look it. She doesn't
She
look it. Well, to answer your question, I wanted the American dream, but I lived the American dream. Both my parents worked very hard. My mother was an entrepreneur. She worked in the salon for over 50 years. So I had a very different childhood. I would leave school and go straight to the shop. And so I feel like my whole life was dedicated to serving people. And there was never not a time where I wasn't around or in front of people. So it was very different. But it was good. It developed and shaped who I am today. So I'm grateful for it. But as a kid, I was like, listen, can we just like go home? But it was good.
So as an entrepreneur, as a makeup artist,
Yes.
you've traveled the country being a makeup artist. You've identified women of different walks of life. How does that helped you or taught you about confidence or identity? When you're making somebody else, what does that add to them?
Yeah, well, when with being in the salon, I'm always saw transformation. So you walk in one way and you leave out another way. And so to answer your question about just traveling and making people feel beautiful, I got so infatuated with that feeling that I could do that I was responsible for making someone feel or see themselves differently. Maybe they didn't know that they had pretty eyebrows. And it's like, oh, well, I do your eyebrows and you're like, wow, I'm beautiful. And it's like, wow, I'm responsible for that. Like I did that. So it was great to be able to help women see and identify beauty within themselves. And so I still do that today. Not as much as I used to because I'm more into product now than servicing, but yeah, I'm still infatuated with that feeling of like I can help you become. And so that's what we were all about. FaceFX is all about that.
FaceFX, FACEFX, for the
Yes.
wondering. And we'll get into where they can buy it and all of that stuff at the end. You started that in 2019, right as the pandemic hit. Tell me about that journey. What does that phase mean to you?
Yes, FaceFX means legacy for me. I struggle with the name initially because I was like, man, what if I get married? And I still have FaceFX by Phoebe Scott, and that's just my honor to my father. I started FaceFX because I wanted to help women identify beauty from within and transform their view of themselves. And so my dad was the first person to purchase my product for me because I didn't have a credit card at the time. So that's why I said like I'll always have FaceFX and it'll always be FaceFX by Phoebe Scott because it'll always honor my father because he was the first person to actually help me walk that out. Even though beauty was a part of my mother's journey, he was the one that financially like assisted me to ensure that it got done. So that's what FaceFX is all about. We're just about making sure people identify beauty from within.
I love it. So take entrepreneurs on that journey because everybody has an idea, but a lot of people don't know how to manifest it. Take me from the concept all the way to the product.
Right. So to take you from that it's a long process, but we'll
It's a
we'll cut it
journey.
down really short.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can have an idea about a product. Of course, it's just, like a water bottle or, a Pepsi bottle or what have you. I'm sorry to brand name, but any type of bottle or any form, you can have that. But what makes the brand is the name attached to it. It's what you're buying into. And so you can, once you deal with the product, if you're sourcing or if you're creating, you're actually making it in-house, and then or you're sourcing and you're buying it from a certain vendor, from either overseas or within the United States, and then you attach your name to it, and that's what people buy into. They buy into the brand. So that's I would say there's a lot of conversations that goes from that product to the name to what you're trying to relate or how you're trying to connect and what message you're trying to send. But it goes from just an idea of having a water bottle and you're like, oh, people are thirsty, they need this. Oh,
Okay.
people want makeup, they want to feel beautiful. And that was my message with FaceFX. Wow, I can help you look beautiful without me being present. I can't be everywhere, but my
Mm,
products can. And so, hey, I can't, do everyone's makeup, but if I can give you this lipstick that'll help you feel beautiful and it stays on long. Of course, that's like what we offer too, because I did do and I do service clients. That's the difference. I could say the competitive advantage that we have is that our products are by a makeup artist, so we know what works, we know what lasts, we know what can help you get from A to Z. So if I can help you do that without me being present, but you still have a piece of me, then I've done well. So that's probably longer than what you asked for, but
no,
that's the whole
no.
purpose of the product
And, and
line.
and that's good because people don't know how to take concept to product to reality, and they
Yeah.
just have a great idea, but there are steps. Do you help other entrepreneurs? Are you in that phase yet where you're coaching and mentoring?
Yes, I've gotten a few calls. I'm still building, honestly.
Okay.
And so when people ask me, of course I'm always happy to share. We've been in the game for what, 6 years, 6 or 7, it'll be 7 years this year in May. But I'm still learning. So I'm like, if you want to learn with me, I'm happy to help you learn. I've done a lot of great things, but I still have so much further to go. And so always happy to help, but I'm not hosting counseling sessions on product and strategy right now. No,
Absolutely not.
no, not
If
yet.
you want her to mentor you, there's value to that. We'll put it
Right.
like that.
Right, 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 right. That's
Hello.
so funny. That's so funny.
Time is money. So yeah.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about um you met the love of your life. You met the love of your life.
Yeah.
You met the love of your life in 2024. Tell us a little bit about the love of your life and that love
Yes.
story.
Thank you. Well, actually, I met him in 2023.
Okay.
We got engaged in 2024. Well, 2022. It was 2 years before.
Okay.
So you were there. So we met
Close.
in 2022. You were very close. 2 years of dating. That was awesome. We met at church. I really wasn't looking for anybody. I was more so I had just got out of something and I was like, listen, like, Lord, I want to do it the right way. So whatever your will is for me. And the Lord just told me to start preparing. And so I would literally go to events because you don't want to, when you're single and you want to be married or you want to have somebody, you don't want them to be a thief. So they're not going to, if they can't find you, you're in your home. They need to be able to find you. So I would go out, and then I would come straight home because I, understood, the value of being exclusive, and being a lady. And so I went to an event and then I left early. I met him. Wasn't, it was just like a hi, nice to meet you. And then I went home. And that was how I
So
met him.
okay, so
Yeah.
let's go into the details. What did he say? Was it the first time he got your number or how did that go?
No, so actually I'm not I'm kind of hard to find. So it it
Oh,
wasn't that I was no, honestly, like I was like,
okay.
if he's gonna find me, then he will literally have to really find me. And I wasn't trying to make it super hard, but I
Mhm,
also didn't want to be too easy. So I
mhm.
didn't give him my number. He didn't ask for it. He did not DM me. He used to like pictures. I would see him liking pictures, but I was like, that's a little different because we're not following each other. And
But you
he
did
actually
notice
reached
that he
out to a
liked
friend.
pictures, but you did notice
I
that
did
he
notice
liked
that.
okay,
I
okay.
did.
Alright,
And then he reached out to a friend of mine and inquired and asked, could he have my number? She asked me, could he have my number? And I said yes.
okay.
So that's how
So
that went.
referrals work.
It does. It does.
Okay,
Definitely works. Yep.
okay. So then y'all started dating and eventually you got married
Yes.
in 24?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in 2024. Yeah. We got engaged in 2024 and we got married in 2024.
And he
Yes.
started, the Rock Nation movement, and talk about that
Yes.
and all of that good stuff.
He was a genius. I didn't really know who he was
Okay.
when I met him. I've heard of Rock Nation. I had seen Rock Nation, but I went to a few concerts where Rock Nation was featured, but I didn't really know him.
Mhm.
He was a little bit older than my generation, and so I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool, but like I don't, really know who you are. And so when we got engaged, well, actually when we started dating, I was like, well, who are you? Like, what do you do? And
Mhm.
he's like, I do music. He's, telling me about himself. And so I'm like, no, like people are saying like you're this dude, like you're this like amazing dude. And I'm, I mean, I think you're amazing, but like, why are they saying this? And so he's like, well, you just have to look me up. And I was like, okay, boy, whatever.
Ooh, I like that.
So
Google me.
whatever. Right.
Google me. Go ahead,
Yes,
Deron.
but he was so humble. He didn't want to be like I've written all these songs. He's written a lot of different songs that
Mhm.
we would know in church. Him and his brother, they were geniuses. They were beyond their time. Rock Nation was way beyond its time. Songs like Chasing After You, Lord You Are Awesome.
Right.
That was some of the songs that him and Devon wrote. He was just amazing. And so I'm forever grateful for the connection in Rock Nation and what it represents and who it is. It's just kingdom culture in the marketplace and in ministry. And so we represent kingdom through fashion, through faith, through arts. And so other generations are coming that are Rock Nation, young folks. And
Mhm.
it's amazing that it's still relevant and it's still, still relevant, still people still connect to it.
Mhm.
I right now I'm still, in honor of him. I've continued the business on when we met him, before we got engaged, we started back the website and just started back doing Rock Nation things. And so I'm just super grateful to God that he connected me with someone that really loved God and that was, for the generation that wanted to help, raise up that remnant. So yeah, that's what Rock Nation is, and that's what I'm doing now in honor of both of them. Not just my husband because they started it together, but I've been given the baton to carry it forward, and so I'm grateful for that.
You talked about it, and I wanna circle back. You talked about that wasn't your generation. What was the age gap?
Oh goodness.
Uh,
Okay, the
you're
age gap
helping
was
somebody
I
today.
know I should have I said it. Oh well, we were 11 years apart.
Okay,
Yeah. So it
okay.
wasn't bad, but of course, 80s and 90s is just different. How we, it's just how we communicate is the same. There are a lot of the same things, but a lot of things during the 80s were just different than in the 90s. So that's why I
You
said
know,
that. But he
you know,
wasn't that much older.
yeah, that's not that bad.
No.
You know, the
No.
older you get, the younger you think you are. You're
Exactly.
like, "I'm gonna go talk to that 20-something-year-old." They're like, "You're my grandfather." You're like, "Oh, okay. I guess
Oh
I
my
could be."
goodness. I mean, in this generation, probably great grand. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
people are just, it just is what it is now. Times are different.
yeah. So,
Yes.
this is the personal and sensitive part of the conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking about him and his legacy. Most people don't know that he passed within a year. You weren't married a year, and then behind that, your dad passed.
Yeah.
Um, walk me through that season.
Walk you through him passing, then my dad.
Yeah.
It was like a blur. To
What
be completely
start here.
honest with you.
How long were you married?
We were married 4 months.
4 months.
It felt like the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. 4 months. They were awesome 4 months, but it was like, wait, what is happening right now? Like what just happened? I felt like we were just getting started. Like I said, we started Rock Nation again. We started um the brand and I was doing FaceFX and he was doing music and I was like, "Oh, this is great." Well, he was assistant pastor at the time and so, we were getting ready to take on the ministry and as soon as it was just like, "Wait, oh my God." So, that season of him passing and Actually, this month it'll be a year of him passing. In like 2 weeks, it'll be a year of him passing, and it feels like yesterday sometimes. Like I'm like, you're not here. Like what? You know. So to walk you through that,
Was it
would
a
say it
sudden
felt like
passing? Was there a condition that might have?
it
Okay.
was a sudden passing. He had had diabetes for some time. And so we didn't know that he had had 2 heart attacks. He
Mhm.
was walking around with 2 heart attacks and we didn't know. And even during the time when he was in the hospital, when they had told us that his artery was clogged, he came out of surgery like, can you guys believe that I had 2 heart attacks? And we're like,
Wow.
are you talking to us right now?
Mhm.
So I never expected this to be my end. I can honestly say him and my dad were the strongest people I've known because they would surpass insurmountable things to most people. You know, they would surpass it. Like, okay, you're sick, you're better. Okay, you know, you just triumph through, and I know that it was because God is our anchor, and that is our focus. And I'm just grateful that he always turned me to Jesus. Even when we would have conversations about like how things would be difficult, he would be like, you don't need a spiritual nothing. You
Mhm.
have the Holy Spirit and you know God for yourself, and that's who you need to confide in. And so I remember those conversations now when I have days where I'm just like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go. I don't want to do anything, you know. I can hear him saying like, "No, you're gonna do it. You know, we're gonna do it." And that's what's helped me. I can't. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I tried to keep
No,
going without crying.
that's why we're here. It's a part of the journey. Tears are part of the journey. Take your time.
I can't. I can't say. I brought tissue too, just in case.
Did too.
Because this month has been crazy.
Mhm.
um, I can't say that it's been easy because it's not easy. It's so hard.
Yes.
It's very hard.
If you can describe some of the hardness, what does that feel like? Is it waking up in the morning? Is it going about your day? Is it the questions? How come? Why? If not,
Yeah,
all of it.
I mean, all of that.
Hmm.
And initially, it was the questions. You know, now I feel like with time, God gives you an answer. I can't say my answer is what everybody's answer is, so don't want to say that out loud. I don't want to share that with
Hmm.
folks, my answer, because I do believe that everybody, when you lose someone, your relationship with them is so personal. So your
Hmm.
walk is so personal. And so my answer may not be yours.
Hmm.
You know, as you asked me about like what has been the challenge now, it's just been to do life without the person that you planned life with.
Hmm.
I waited all my life to get married. I did it wrong before. I wasn't perfect.
Hmm.
And so I feel like both of us in our meeting, we both met each other after we had just experienced tragedy in relationships. And so it was like, wow, we came together at the same time in the same year. We both had experienced that, like horrible experiences, but God brings you back in the same year. And to meet within in 2022 when he had no plans of coming here. He was in LA. He had lived in LA
Hmm.
for 10 years.
Hmm.
And then we met in the fall. He came back here. And so it's just like, you have those questions like, well, why did he come back? Why did I meet him? Like, why did we get married? We didn't have to get married. We could have just been best friends. I could have helped him with his business. without marrying him. Like you have all of that, like, and then, why am I the one to carry this on? Like, you know what I mean? And so,
Mhm.
um, those were the questions initially. And then, now it's more of like, God, thank you for showing me my purpose in this.
Mm.
But it's hard because you're I you plan out, you have this vision, and so it changes it. You know what I mean? Like, and the Bible tells us that hope deferred makes the heart sick, and you have these like hopes, these dreams. And so that's why I'm so gentle with people who are grieving, because you don't know the amount of strength it takes to get up. You don't know the
Mm.
amount of strength it takes them to show up to something, even if they're sad, they're like, to get up, to come, like, you don't know the mental battles. I mean, even when I hadn't experienced this, um you'd still go through battles in your mind all day. You're constantly saying, yes, I'm worth it. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I'm strong enough. Yeah. So imagine like losing someone, and then you're still battling. It's even more, so um to answer your question, walking through this journey has been hard because I really did not anticipate this being my life. Like, I just was like, no, this is not happening. So even when he was in the hospital, I was not like, and maybe it was my crazy faith of
Mhm.
growing up with my
Mhm.
parents,
Mhm.
and seeing my dad sick and bouncing back too.
Mhm.
Because during that time when I met my husband, my dad was in the hospital. So it was like,
Mm.
and then my dad bounced back, and then my dad walked me down the out, like all of those things of like triumphs of faith. And it tells us we go from faith to faith and glory
Mhm.
to glory, and it's like we say these things, but they mean more when you experience them, when you have to walk it out. And so yeah, it's been hard, and I don't want people to think that by me showing up that it's
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah. Just
Because
because you
that it
wear a
can be
smile.
perceived. Right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Right.
exactly. And it's because my husband said this when we got married, and I did know he was going to say this, but he said I gave him permission to love again. And
Mm.
I was like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, and he said, I thank God for her because she gave me that permission. And I took that on, like, I had to give myself permission to live,
Wow.
because grief will make you feel like you shouldn't smile. Why are you laughing? Like, nothing is
Mhm.
funny. Look at your life. Like, are you making fun of your situation? It comes
Mhm.
with all of these like
To mock you.
daunting thoughts. Like, yeah, like you're mocking it. Like, oh, you're going on a trip. Like, you don't deserve to go on a trip. Why are you going on a trip? Like, the person that you should be going on a trip with isn't here. So how are you having so much fun? It makes you feel that way.
Mhm.
And I had to give myself permission, and I understood what he meant. I mean, losing your twin, I can't imagine. I can't imagine being in the womb with somebody and then them passing. And then, I he was my first experience of loss that close. Both of my parents were living at the time. My grandmother was still living. I have my siblings. So to experience that, it was a huge blow,
Mhm.
and it tried to knock me out,
Yeah.
but I'm grateful that God won. That's all I can really say. Like, God won, so yeah,
And all of that, you're not finished with the journey, you're just taking steps on the journey. So
exactly.
you definitely wanna clarify that because people hear you now and be like, "Oh, well, she must be fine." It's like, "No. Every day I wake up, it's a process."
Every day.
Every
Every day is a choice. And
Mm.
honestly, it'll never be over. I
Wow.
You can't ever I don't when people say things like you stopped grieving. No, you just don't grieve hard.
Mm.
Like,
Mhm.
cuz grief doesn't it's not a moment, it's not just a moment in time and then you're over it. You
Mhm.
can never be over it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It changes your life. How can you be over something with that much change, So,
We
yeah,
tell people in ministry that you never get over it, you just get through it.
through it.
And you should keep the memory alive, you should keep them
Yes.
active in your life because it gives you strength.
Yes.
It gives you comfort, it gives you consolation, and
Yes.
people will want you to move on and bury the memory when you bury the person. It's like, "No, no, 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 no. If they
No.
were here today, we would be laughing about this.
Exactly.
This would be a moment
Exactly.
we would share." Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
people
And
are
they
in
they
No,
they
go ahead.
said like grief is love with nowhere to go.
Ooh.
And so if then love can never be buried.
Ooh,
So love will never die. Love
yeah.
never dies. It doesn't go away. You just learn to maneuver. You learn to how to go through. Like I would ask my husband, how do you deal with, because they were twins. How do you deal with that? Like people constantly, I don't think people meant any harm, but like, oh my God, you look like your brother today. And you don't know
Mhm,
if he was having a good day. You don't know if it was something on his mind. You just like, I said, how do you deal with that?
mhm,
And he would just say it never gets easier. You just learn to handle hard better. And so that's where you go through. You don't go over, you can't go under it. You just go through it. And sometimes you just flow.
mhm.
I'm in that stage of just flowing. Like if I have a moment, like I just had a moment. I had said to myself, I was not going to cry on your show.
Mhm, mhm,
I'm
mhm.
not gonna cry on your show. I'm gonna wear something light. I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I had kind of gave, but I did. And so I had a moment and it's okay. It doesn't mean that I won't, smile again or
right.
I won't have a good day. It's just,
Mhm,
it takes time. So like you said, I'm not over it. I will never be over it. It changed my entire life.
yeah,
But I'll go through it well.
and grief doesn't have a schedule. It just hits you when it hits you, and then we would be remiss to take that even further. Months later, your father transitions.
Yeah.
I was just like when I saw it come across social media, I was just like, "What in the whole world
Listen.
just happened?" And everybody immediately said, "Oh God, Phoebe. Oh God, Phoebe." That if I didn't hear that once, I heard it 10 times. "Oh God, Phoebe." Yeah, you're rock,
It
your
still leaves
strength.
me speechless. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me celebrate him. He was such a man's man and such
He
a
was.
he was such a friend to so many, and that loss, you just feel that when you lose good people who are consistent, who are loyal, who, I just love when every time I see him, he'd be like, "E!"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Scott!"
Yes, yes,
He's like,
yes.
"Come here, baby," and it's
Oh my
like,
god.
you just love that.
You
So
sound
then,
just like him, that's so funny.
uh, "E! Come here,
Oh
man."
goodness. Oh man.
He was just that kind of guy, and I think the love shown on both occasions was
Yes.
evidence of their life that they lived,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think part of your just knowing you and knowing them, part of your journey is when you think about them, it's like, "I have to get up,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was like, oh my God, he was amazing. Like you
Yeah.
say, he was amazing. And
Mhm,
so that was such a huge blow because when you don't have that level or you feel that level of safety leaving, that level of
mhm,
covering, it's just so different. Losing a parent and losing a spouse is just completely different.
yeah,
Um, you always want more time,
yes,
and so that losing my father, losing my husband, I'll say that it was hard because I wanted more time, but I felt like I lost future. I lost view of my future. I all I had to reflect on was the past. And so when I lost my dad, it was like, dang,
which was
I
how
don't
many
even have
months
my
was
past no
how many
more.
months between?
8 months.
8 months.
8 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So losing my dad was like, man, I don't have an anchor anymore. I don't have anything that I can reflect on to sustain, you know, identity
Mhm,
because often men give you that, and it comes first from your father.
mhm,
And so it was a huge blow. I never wanted my mom to experience that pain
uh-huh.
ever. I just thought my dad would live forever.
Yeah.
I thought he would live forever. Literally, I never saw my parents passing. I don't know. I just never thought about that. I
Yeah.
mean, it happens. It's life. Nobody's immortal, but um yeah, just my dad, he was just amazing. He was an amazing man. He was always there for us, there for his kids. I mean, even when the passing of my husband, my dad was there. He was right next to me in the
Mhm.
hospital. Like, so to lose my father, it just felt like, man, it felt like a cover fell off of me. It felt like now I'm unveiled, and so
Did you ever
it's
say,
difficult.
Lord, again?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like, why again?
Okay. Yeah.
Why did this happen when you took my husband?
Hmm.
Because generally you lose your parents with your spouse. Like, you don't lose your spouse first.
Right.
You know what
Not
I mean? And
not the
and
natural order.
especially
Yeah.
no, and then especially not that close. Like, I'm still, and a part of me felt awful. My dad was in the hospital and I just couldn't go to the hospital. The hospital
Mm.
right to this day is still very challenging for me to do,
Okay.
to go into the hospital.
Okay.
He was in the same hospital and I was like, Dad, I can't, like, I cried on the phone with him. And
Wow.
he's like, I'm gonna just call you back. I'm supposed to be calling to encourage you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't go up there. And he's like, I understand. It's okay. My dad was just so, he was steady.
Yes.
And you look for that. You look for that level of consistency when you lose somebody. People that are just steady, people that can just flow, that don't, that don't cause you to be anxious because you're already, even if you're calm, there's still those anxious thoughts. Oh my gosh, what if they don't come? What if they don't answer the phone? What if something's happening? Did they pass? You have all these things that you deal with. And so whether you say them or not. And so my dad was steady for me,
Hmm.
and so that was a lot. Then he came home. I thought he was doing better. I was talking to him. We were chatting about life and he was telling me, like, how did you carry that much love? He was like, I watched you in the hospital. It was something we hadn't talked about.
Hmm.
And I think he was waiting, just to kind of see, like, okay, when she's ready, I will ask this question. And so he did. And I was like, Dad, when you can't explain what's going on in your body, love, it's surpasses that. You can't explain. I knew my dad could not explain what was going on, and
Hmm.
so I'm like, the love has to be greater. It
Hmm.
has to be, we have to have more compassion and just for one another, and I knew it was going to be a process and I was willing to go through the process, but I was like, I felt like my dad made a choice,
Hmm.
and it was it was hard. And
Hmm.
even when my mom spoke and she said, like, he saw someone in the room
Hmm.
the week before, and that was
Hmm.
not something she told us. Because maybe she just was, her mind wasn't, on it. But knowing that he left at home in the peace of his home in the morning after praising God, it just let me know, it's gonna be okay. As hard as it was, it's gonna be okay, and I'm
And
so sorry.
yeah. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. What's amazing, and again, it's not the natural circle of life. You find yourself comforting your mother, walking her through
Oh
the
my gosh.
the situation of becoming a widow. How crazy is that? It's like, okay, yeah,
And
and
that's when my dad's like, "You're so strong." And I'm like, "I don't want to be strong."
get another soldier, please, God. I'm at my capacity.
It's giving sacrifice lamb.
Right.
You said be like you. Oh God.
Not me again. I got some people I can volunteer, but
Listen, okay.
I'm
Woo.
at my quota. Wow.
Uh, at the max, But
Yeah.
have helping my mom has been challenging too because grief is different. Even though I'm a widow and she's a widow,
Mhm.
she had my dad for 47 years. She doesn't know life without him. She
Yeah.
married him at 21.
Wow.
She has to relive, re understand who she was before she married him. How do you go back that far?
Yeah.
How do
Wow.
you you know what I mean? So it's almost like a baby.
Mhm.
Not that
Mhm.
she is, but
Right.
she's
No.
grown. But you know
Right.
what I mean? Like you're when you lose a spouse, you learn to live life again. It's like you live another life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to, if you're not anchored, a lot of times, like what I tell people is to remember who you were before, because that is what you might be most comfortable in. You know what I mean? So if you were a person that went to the gym before you met him and then or her, and when y'all started dating, you stopped doing those things, or when you used to eat at a certain restaurant, y'all stopped doing those things because you wanted to be at home at a certain time. Go back to that might be a place of comfort to help you know who you are, to kind of get into the swing of becoming someone, because you're different,
Mhm.
so that's been the challenge, because my mom is like, she's different. She's of another generation.
Yeah.
They like to move quick. I moved very slow.
Okay.
People thought I moved quick,
Okay.
because I did a lot of things to keep his legacy alive.
Mhm.
But for the first 2-3 months, I never left the house. I didn't want anybody to really come over. I didn't talk. I didn't have a voice. People would call and I would just be crying. My
Dang.
mom was a little different. She was able to, work and, talk
Mhm.
to people and just share. I wasn't there,
Mhm.
so our navigating is different, even though even now I'm like, Mom, we're gonna go somewhere. We got to figure this out. We went to a restaurant the other day and we just sat and talked, and I'm like, we didn't have a choice. So no, please, nobody, no saints say anything. Please do not judge us. Please. Thank you.
Please don't
But
think.
the restaurant was full,
Okay.
and it was the only option. We were hungry was to go to the bar. And so my mom is very conservative, okay?
Mhm.
My dad was a little bit more, they were a great balance. I had a
Right.
great balance of
Okay.
parents, right? But my mom is very conservative. And so I was like, Mom, we're going to go to this bar. Are you going to be okay? And she's like, Oh my God, Phoebe, you have me at a bar. I'm like, we're trying new things, okay? We're both widows.
Relax.
Relax. Like, it's okay.
You don't have to order
You have a
alcohol.
Diet Coke. You
Right.
have a Diet Coke. No one's gonna know. It's fine.
Right.
So those things of, and she laughed, but just
Mhm.
those things of us, learning to live life again. And so yeah, just helping her navigate the loss and the grief, and even looking at pictures. I love looking at pictures. But I would send my
Mhm.
mom pictures and she wouldn't respond. And so then
Okay.
that's when I was like, okay, let me not do that. Because,
Right.
she
That's
might
not her
not
journey.
really be ready for that. Right. Exactly. Some people take it differently. But just yesterday, she sent me two pictures of them. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are so cute. So it's
Mhm.
with time, and everybody's process is different. But I do find it amazing that God would have me go through it first.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Phoebe, that was a catchphrase. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Just so you know, everybody
Oh
was thinking
man.
about you. How
Thank
could
you.
how can people help you on the journey? Oftentimes we don't know what we don't know and we say things that
Mhm.
are people may consider insensitive or we don't
Yeah.
know. How can people help you on the journey?
Well, they have helped me, I'll say, with praying for me. I do feel the prayers for sure. I don't think I would have be this far without. I know people that I don't know are praying for me. You just know. I just know. But to further that, I would say continue to pray for me. And with asking certain questions, I just think we just have to be just cautious and conscious of, like, how do you feel? I mean,
Okay.
how would you feel? You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like if you lost someone, that's not really a closed-ended questions work. And what I mean by that is just saying, "Hey,
Yes or
you
no.
good?" "Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay." You okay?"
Okay.
"Yes." You know, not questions that cause you to respond a lot because a lot of times you don't have a voice. And even if the person seems to be fine, you don't know what's in their mind.
Mm.
So close-ended questions work best, especially when I had a lady walk up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, um, you do you look better." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." I didn't even know how to respond. Um, man, that's so funny. Or I had another lady at the gym like, "My heart broke for you." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
My heart was
appreciate
broke.
the concern. I know people don't mean any harm, but
Yeah.
it's not just me. I do that even with other people. I don't ask questions that could cause them to explain a lot. I serviced a lady who had just lost her son. I was kind of hesitant about it because sometimes I'm very sensitive, and so I didn't want her to, feel like she had to be serviced by me. And so when she wanted to talk, she just started talking about her son and she started explaining and, all these things, but just allow people the grace and the space to tell you. Don't often just go into asking a bunch of questions.
I've heard you say, as we come to an end, I heard you say that uh, joy and grief can both exist at the same time. I don't know if that's the quote,
Yeah.
but I think it speaks to
Yeah.
that you're becoming. Explain that statement.
I've learned that in this past season that joy and grief can coexist. Um, like I said, mentioned before, I'm in the season of flowing and not floating because I feel like that's another way you can go through grief too. You can just go with whatever and just with life, but and not be present. Feel like I am present. I am able to feel. I'm not numb to it. And so learning that I can be happy. I can have a good day and I can say it's a good day even though my husband's not here and my
Hmm.
dad is not here and I can't call them and I can't text them and I can't hear what their thoughts are about certain decisions that I make.
Hmm.
But it was still a good day. Like I mean, my dad loved you. So
Hmm. Hmm.
talking about you, my husband always wanted me to talk. I would never talk. So he
Okay,
would be thrilled to know that I'm talking. You know what I mean? And so have not being able to call them and be like, "Y'all, listen,
get
guess
it.
what happened to me today?" And being able to cry about that, but then also being able to laugh and say, "You know what? I did it. It was a good day." I learning that those two things can happen. Yes, I miss them. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm still grieving, but also yes, I'm very happy that I had them. And that's where like the gratefulness comes in. Like the greatest grace is when you find the gratefulness. When you
Hmm.
discover that you can be grateful for having the experience to know them that other people may have not had love the way I had love.
Hmm.
Other people may have not had a father the way my father
Wow.
nurtured us and cared for us. And to know that my father walked me down the aisle, that's not an experience that my sister had.
Mm.
And so to
Wow.
find the gratefulness in that and to know like, yes, it's sad. I miss him. I wish I had more time, but also wow, look at what God did for me. Look at how much God loved me to give me a father like that. Look at how much God gave our family, gave my mother to give her a husband that knew how to love children, not just be an instructor or a guide or a leader,
Yeah.
but to actually father us.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
find gratefulness, and that's where the joy and the grief coexist.
I love it. The greatest grace is to find the gratefulness.
Yes.
That's a life lesson. That's a
Yeah.
life lesson.
And that
Man,
wasn't from me. That was from Dewan.
that was from
I have
Dewan.
a recording of him saying that. Yes.
Wow. He still speaks.
Yeah.
He speaks from
Still.
eternity,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we celebrate. We celebrate
that's
his life.
hilarious.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
celebrate his life. We celebrate your death. You started
Yeah.
a 5K walk. We'll end on that one. Are you
Yes.
gonna do that? Continue that?
Yes, every year annually. So my husband started a 501(c)(3. It's called the Allegiance Group. And the Allegiance Group, in partnership with the American Heart Association and the Diabetes Association, are partnering yearly to host a annual 5K walk for heart health and diabetes, to make people aware. People perish for lack of knowledge. And so this is a community outreach, something that he wrote down that he wanted to do when he was living. He asked, we wrote down our goals, and that was one of the goals, was to host a diabetes walk in honor, really, of his twin brother Devon. But the D was written like a J, and my husband was he was strategic. So I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know why he did that, but anywho,
Okay.
we're doing this walk, and this walk is annual. Rock Nation will be there. A lot of the Rock Nation group, a lot of those who grew up with, my husband, they were there. And so we'll have like the merch and things like that. But that's what I've continued on to honor his life and his legacy with something that he actually wanted. He wanted people to know about diabetes, the importance of keeping your heart healthy. And so, I'm at the gym almost all the time because I mean, both of my father had congestive heart failure, so we're
Mm.
incorporating too easy, which is something that my dad always said, too it's too easy, and so we're incorporating that with Rock the Walk, and it is an annual event, and it's happening September 26th of this year.
I love it, and we're gonna give you information. We're gonna have some fun right quick. And
Yeah.
it's true. She's at the gym all the time, and she's on the stairmaster like she owns it. I be like, "You crazy? Get it, girl." I just weigh
I
well.
gotta keep the heart healthy. I mean, I got to. I
Hey,
have to.
listen, your heart got to be healthy. The way you on
Yes.
that stairmaster. Listen, I do a thing called first thoughts, and I want you to give me your first thought when I give you this thing. So, beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach, okay. Dinner and movie or Netflix and chill?
Dinner and movie.
Oh, okay. Winter, spring, summer, or fall?
Summer.
Summer. Okay. Okay.
I mean, beach, summer.
Okay. Hey, it's
Yeah.
your thing. Flowers or candy?
That's hard. Flowers.
Flowers. Okay.
I'm a flower
Gift
girl.
cards or gifts?
Mm. I'm not a gift person.
Okay. Okay. Um, road trip or let's take a flight?
Mm, that's hard. Flight. That's so hard.
Would you
Flight.
like
I
them
would say
both?
flight.
Either or, doesn't
I
matter.
do. I do like them both. And I would say that for gifts and gift cards. And I'm not really like either, I'm grateful for gifts, but,
Okay.
time is important. So,
Because the
yeah.
greatest grace is to find the gratefulness. So whatever you give her, she's going to be appreciative. I guess that's what she's saying.
I am. That's so true. That is so
Okay.
true.
Couple more. Mornings or evenings?
Mornings.
Mornings. Okay. Um, men with beards or no beards? Uh-oh.
I
Let me,
don't know.
I don't know. All right.
I would say both. I'm not
Okay.
my dad didn't have a beard. My husband did have a beard. I don't know. It's whatever.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, is it Brandy or Monica?
Brandy
Brandy. Okay.
all day.
Um, Mary or the Clark sisters?
Mary Mary.
Boys and Men or New Edition?
Boys to men.
Last one. Um, iPhone or Android?
Of course, iPhone.
Come on, team iPhone.
Of course. Of course,
Thank
iPhone.
you. iPhone, of course. Thank you so much. I know that was
Thank
personal for you. I
you.
know that was challenging for you. When I asked you, I was hesitant, but you said okay. And
Yes.
hopefully I want to be sensitive and respectful to the
Thank
season
you.
that you're in.
You were. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. I wanted you to tell people where they can get in touch with you, where they can find face effects, those things, and then leave us with a parting word.
Alrighty, so you all can find FaceFX at www.thefacefxcosmetics.com, and that's FACEFX. So thefacefxcosmetics.com. We are The FaceFX on Facebook and on Instagram. The links are in the bio as well. Where you can find me, I mean, I'll be everywhere. So you
You
can always find me.
no, because
You
earlier
might
you said
you
we
might
can't
find me.
find you.
I know. You might find me at the gym though. Now
Okay.
that is a certain. You will find me at the gym. If there's an athletic or anything that is fitness wise, I'm showing up. So
Okay.
you can find me there. And then as far as Rock Nation Movement, it's www.rocknationmovement.com. And that is also where you can sign up and register for the walk. We won't host registration until July. So just be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
with us.
you.
I believe you have helped someone through their journey, and I hopefully this has been helpful for you as well.
Yes.
We
Thank you.
honor those two outstanding gentlemen,
Yes.
Dewan and we call them Elder Scott.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we honor them both.
Yes.
Their love, their legacy, their life will continue, and we look for you to do great things in keeping their
Thank
life, their
you.
love, their memory alive. And just
Yes.
my final eThought, I always leave with eThought. My eThought in essence of beauty and what it is that you do as an entrepreneur. Proverbs 30:31 says, charm is deceptive and beauty does not last.
Yes.
But the woman who
Yeah.
fears the Lord is greatly to be praised. And that is you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Like,
Thank you
comment,
so
share,
much.
and thank you again for joining eThought
This was
Conversations with
great.
me this time. I appreciate you. I love you.
All
Bye.
right. Love you too. Bye bye.